Alright, before we get into the actual level proper, I just wanted to point out where we find Vernon in this level, so that we can get that out of the way. Hopefully this doesn't become a trend for videos in the rest of this series. And welcome back to Let's Play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. After picking up Vernon in Stage 6, he appears on the map here, and our goal for him is to collect VHS tapes, a medium that I remember fondly from my childhood because I am getting old. But that's neither here nor there. We are heading into Episode 7.
Roof-running reptiles.
Thank you, April. Now, this stage is a nice and short and sweet one, and as you can see, we've got another dual boss at the end. Care to take a guess who that was in that silhouette? Oh dear. Anyways, we've got these spear guys, very similar to Garcia from the Streets of Rage series. They just hold their thing out in front, point it at you, and try to run into you with it. They also have a jab attack. It's pretty annoying to approach these guys from the front if you are not preemptive with slide kicks or anything, so be very careful of them. Not a bad idea to use super attacks when there are multiple on screen. Speaking of that, we are playing as Donatello this time around. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Donatello. Donatello's shtick is that he has the highest range of the turtles, but he trades off a lot of speed for that, and I'm not a fan of losing out on speed in this game. I feel like having high ending lag and laggy startups is pretty disadvantageous since... Whoops. It's pretty disadvantageous since so many of the enemies just die so quickly that I don't feel Donatello's strengths are that great. What he does have going for them, and geez, I'm falling into those pits like crazy. What he does have going for him is his super attacks. His super attacks are crazy good. Easily the best in the game. I don't think anybody's going to contest that. His ground super, and geez, why am I failing to double jump? His ground super hits a huge range, stays active for a very long time, and suctions enemies into it. It is crazy how good it is. His other specials are his dash super, which hits multiple times, does a lot of damage, and even his aerial super seems to deal more damage than other characters' aerial supers, which are already the strongest supers in the game. Other than that, he's got a decent slide kick. His jump kick is pretty unique. It's one of the few that actually deals 2 points of damage, hitting 2 times when it connects with the enemy, so that's pretty unique. His dash attack also does 2 points of damage, so he's definitely got more going for him on that front than, say, Michelangelo does. This is a pretty cool sequence here. We've got an infinite power pizza, and it's up to us when we want to take it. You can just spam your super moves to get through this, but remember, it only lasts for 10 seconds, so you gotta pick it when you are sure you're gonna get the most bang for your buck out of it. And as you can see, here's just a good demonstration of just how good Donatello's ground super is. Just so ridiculous how effective it is, and definitely it's one of the centerpieces of his moveset. You may have also noticed that control panel there. We can just get a pack of sushi if we spend time damaging it in order to break it. Coming up here, we've got another new enemy type, and these ones are pretty annoying. These are the White Foot Clan soldiers with their scimitars. They have perfect guard from the front, and they often counter immediately when you attack them, so they can be a bit tricky on approach, so you definitely want to be careful with them. The best way to deal with them is to just let them jump, like so, and you notice how they've got a ton of ending lag when they land that stab, so that's your opportunity to take them out. It's the safest way to take them out. Otherwise, you can use super attacks, like so many other enemies, that just destroys them immediately. Also, I haven't been paying attention to collectibles. I hope I didn't miss anything. That's been just such a big problem for me in this video. I'm so focused on explaining combat and new enemies, I just end up missing the secrets, which is not something that I wanted to have happen, but you know how it goes sometimes. The things you intend to do are not always the things you end up doing. Adult life be like that sometimes. Alright, let's see. Is there anything awaiting us in here? No. Please tell me I didn't miss anything. I would hate it if I missed anything. Yeah, I'm feeling like I probably missed something at this point. It's not a huge deal. I can just go back for it. Let's see. Anything? Okay, oof. I always psych myself up like that when I notice how late in the level I am. The big problem I'm having is that for practice I'm just using arcade mode, so I don't have to reset my save file in order to keep the map congruent with what I'm doing. So the collectibles do not appear in arcade mode. Also, hi Bebop and Rocksteady. The collectibles do not appear in arcade mode, so I'm not able to memorize their locations when I'm practicing. Anyways, it's Bebop and Rocksteady. They are basically identical to how they were when we fought them previously. Actually, I think Rocksteady is completely identical. Bebop does have a new move at his disposal, but he only uses it sparingly. There he goes with it right now. He'll slap his laser gun and just shoot in a huge spinning pattern like that. Not super threatening, but you do have to be mindful of when he's doing the slap. But Rocksteady, yeah, I think he's completely identical, actually. The main thing he has going for him here, of course, is that he's got Bebop to run interference for him. And yeah, I'm doing pretty bad here. Let's see if I can just... Whoop, yeah. Probably better to stick to flying attacks for my offense here. It'll bring down my damage a little bit, but it's a lot safer and easier to keep track of what I'm doing. And you probably also noticed Bebop and Rocksteady are pretty prone to hitting each other, especially with their dashing or charging attacks. So that's pretty handy for us. That takes some of the effort out of this fight. Yeesh. Always rough when they both take up residence on opposite side of the screens and just start shooting. That's definitely where you're most likely to end up taking some damage here. That, and of course the grenades, and of course I die. Yeah, Donatello is not my preferred character. Like I said, I don't really like trading speed for anything else in this game. I just feel like it's only a situational advantage to have, like Donatello's increased range or Master Splinter's increased power. In fact, Donatello and Splinter are pretty similar. They have very similar speed and ending lag on a lot of their moves. It's just Splinter has a little bit more power on some of his moves, and Donnie, of course, has the longer range, plus just the better supers, really. That is the big thing Donnie has going for him, just excellent supers across the board. All of them are very useful. Even the normally, oh geez, I am doing so bad. Even the normally really bad dodging super, that one's still pretty good with Donatello. And let's just let Bebop go. We'll do this, and throw out the super. This should take him out. There we go. I don't really like using the ground supers on the bosses too much, because they do have a tendency to just, like, through their own super armor, ignore a lot of the hits that you deal to them. Hey, we got another flying skateboard level come up. We have the second and, if I'm being completely honest, the only real other level involving the skateboard. Also, we've got all of Irma's diaries, but it would be a waste to turn them in with Donatello since he has max points already. Well, max points in as far as actually unlocking anything to go. Panic in the Sky! Panic in the Sky is a fun little song that I would recommend looking up without me yammering over it. And honestly, I'd recommend that for this game's entire OST. It's very fun. A lot of cheesy vocal songs, too, much like River City Girls, actually. Developed by different people, but they had a similar energy with that. Also, yeah, this is another level that involves completing it unharmed, which, yeah, I'm nowhere close to being good enough to do that. And honestly, I imagine it would involve playing the level in a very boring way, so I'm not super interested in going for that. But if you feel like that is a fun challenge to go for, by all means. Remember, the best thing about games is that you can set your own challenge and goals with them and have fun in your way. Alright, and I forget how long the second goes on for. Incidentally, there is another objective involving avoiding obstacles. I'll see if I can get that one, but I'm not holding my breath. I almost flunked it right there, just explaining it. Oh, hey. Well, I got at least one challenge done in this video. Go me. Well, I also got the pit challenge from the previous level. Yeah, no new enemies to worry about. Honestly, like, in terms of just an actual level, I do prefer this to Mutants over Broadway, but I do think the boss is not harder than the boss from that level, but considerably more annoying as far as just, like, getting a consistent pattern going on him, and we'll deal with him when we get to him. Also, this actual level spaces out its healing items a lot better, I feel. Mutants over Broadway, I think it's kind of a mistake that all of the healing items are, like, backloaded in the stage and towards the end. Got a lot of missiles flying at us here. It's not too terrible since they don't really flood the screen with them. Yeah, let's just do this. The suction effect is so powerful on Donatello's super. He's not the only one with that. Casey has a similar thing, which we'll be seeing later, but it's definitely more pronounced as an aspect of Donatello's super. Also, sadly, you cannot pick up pizzas for extra points when you're at full health. I kind of wish they had made it like that. Especially since once they go off screen, you just can't get them anymore. And they do not stay on screen for very long. You're always moving forward once you finish off the enemies in this game. But yeah, if I was willing to play in a more cheesy and boring way, Donatello is definitely pretty busted in normal mode just because he can taunt and store up 3 supers. And most fights, they do not last long enough or have enough enemies that he couldn't just get through them without spamming his super repeatedly. So if you want a really easy way to beat the game, which I don't really think is necessary on the lower difficulties, this game is just not that hard. Doing that with Donatello, just taunt spamming and super spamming, that is a perfectly valid strategy. And we're already at the boss fight, actually. Get a nice little change of scenery here. We can see the Statue of Liberty, our main objective, in the background. I do think it's kind of lame that they reused that plot point from Turtles in Time. This is the second time. Actually, I think it's like the third time in a video game the Statue of Liberty has been an important thing. Shredder just seems to have an affinity for it. Him and Krang, they just love the Statue of Liberty. Yep, yeah. Wingnut does his Storm Eagle thing, and it's a lot more annoying than Storm Eagle, because he doesn't come from 2 directions. He can come from across the screen, he can go diagonally like Storm Eagle, or he can come vertically down it. And there's no tell for what way he's going to take, so sometimes you just have to dodge when you know he's coming, and hope you're dodging the right way. Luckily, I was able to avoid him with the rising attack there. Alright, let's do this. One other thing I really dislike about Wingnut is that his hitbox is super weird. It can actually be pretty difficult to line yourself up with him and get hits in. I'm doing pretty well here. I want to point out about these, weird jet guys with the Foot Clan. They actually behave differently to how they appeared in Mutants Over Broadway. They actually shoot as soon as they come on screen, as opposed to how they were in Mutants Over Broadway, where they actually took quite a bit to actually shoot at you, so you had ample time to take them out without any risk to yourself. Now that we're a bit deeper into the fight, Wingnut's pattern doesn't really change. His moves just go on for longer. He flies down the screen an additional time, and when he shoots the missiles, there's now 6 to go through. I believe it starts at 3, and then it just gradually goes up until the halfway point where he's just shooting out 6. And by far, the most annoying thing about this fight is that he can do the Storm Eagle routine repeatedly at this point. I've had it happen at least once where he did it 3 times in a row, and I didn't really have an opportunity to safely hit him. I was pretty frustrated when that was happening. When the missiles are coming, I find it's better to, instead of looking for the gaps, to just jump repeatedly as they approach you. And there it is with Wingnut's really weird hitbox. I'm trying to hit him, and all my attacks just whiff through him, but we're done with him. Not a difficult fight by any stretch of the imagination, but a very, very annoying one. And hey, I managed to complete the obstacle objectives. I thought for sure I was going to flunk it when I got hit by those missiles, but did not happen like that. I am glad. And that will take us to the beach in the next video. And we head over to Stage 9, Panic, or Crisis at Coney Island. I don't know why I wanted to say Panic. I will see you there with another character, and it is our first non-turtle character, so the game's name is now becoming something of a misnomer. Should be fun. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.